Another question is simply about the career mode, which is over here up in the top that way. Hello everybody and welcome to my review of Formula 1 2017 and our giveaway video. I'm going to be starting off with a quick simple overview of what I believe the game feels like and how I've reacted to my first experiences with the game, and then I'll be going through some questions that have been thrown up on the comment sections and on the forums regarding the game as well. So my first look at the game, it immediately amazed me right out the bat because I loaded up the game and it immediately was at the perfect graphics levels for my computer. It was already preloaded with the controller settings for my G29. The only thing I had to do was go into my profiler and change the wheel rotation to 360. Other than that, everything was perfect right out the bat, and within 10 minutes of opening the game, I'd created a profile and I was in practice for the first career mode episode. Getting onto the track then, and I was amazed that I was able to run without any assist from the get-go. The cars just have so much more downforce, so much more stuck to the track than they were in previous versions of the game, as well as being able to feel the car a lot easier as well. Using my wheel, I was able to feel what the rear end of the car was doing, and I was able to hold a lot of slides, a lot of spins, and you'll see from some of the videos that I've done that I do a lot of full rotation locks in order to hold slides, but that's purely because the wheel is forced that way and it just puts it into a great correction, and it feels so smooth and it just doesn't really feel that difficult to be able to run, which I absolutely love about it. Opening the career mode, it immediately was amazing with the interaction it had. I really love the R&D section where the guy who was talking to you had a phone call that interrupted us, and it was actually quite cool to have that sort of stuff involved, that it's not just a simple it's only going to include what's really necessary, it's going to add some other things into it as well, and it was rather cool. Same with the invitational events as well, when you come and meet the guy who's going to allow you to drive his cars. He says he would rather be out in the circuit with himself, but he has a sort of stiff neck, and it's just sort of interesting that it actually does create a little bit more of an environment than what it did in previous versions, where it would only be literally only give you the points and the details that you do know. The R&D sessions are so much more better now that you don't have to run all the practice program. As soon as you achieve the best possible score that is available, it automatically ends because you can't beat it. What's the point in continuing? With the new R&D programs as well, such as the fuel usage and the race strategy program, it's just so much better that you do have a much more variety to your R&D programs. And definitely the race pace, it's nice to get out there and just put in some laps, and some of the team targets are to put in a race pace test with various tires, which again just gives you a little bit more to know when you come to do your races. I've also gone into the extra areas where they've done new championships with the classic and modern cars, and I find it really cool. They've added all these new championships to get involved in as well, so it's not just a Grand Prix race that you have to do, that you can create your own sort of environment with the default sort of Formula 1 rules, but instead you can have 2 races, you can have reverse races, double points, half point sprint races, feature races. It's just so cool that you can have all of that in the championship mode. You can do it in a multi-class with the classic cars. You can have the C1s and C2s, which is amazing. You can do it in the modern cars as well, which again is really cool to do. I just find it really interesting being able to do that sort of stuff. I'm looking forward to testing out the multiplayer. I'm yet to actually test out the multiplayer at all, but next week, once we get F1 2017 up and running on RaceDepartment.com, we will be doing a few spectator broadcasts from the PC build for now, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see what sort of things we can do with that spectator overlay, what we could bring to you watching as well as you taking part as well. So that's another thing that we will be doing. Be sure to check out RaceDepartment.com to have a little look at our club and league events that will be coming up on the Codemasters title. Enough with my quick simple review then, purely because we've got a massive article written about it over on RaceDepartment.com, and also I know you're probably bored of hearing reviews from the about 20-30 different sites that are now, well, more than that, sites and YouTubers that are putting up all of their reviews about the game. So instead I'm going to go ahead and have a little look at some of the questions that you guys have been placing on the videos that we've been putting up, as well as on the forums. Some of them that I have already responded to in the comments, and so have a few of the other Race Department staff members, but I thought I'd like to get out in video and explain what I actually do mean with some of my responses. So I'm going to start with this message here. Why do you say you can't feel the car in 2016? I could feel it just fine, and especially when coming out of corners. I liked the feeling and response far more than what I get in games like AMS and especially R Factor 2. What exactly are you supposed to be feeling, so to say? Now, when I say the feeling, it means that I can't really tell what the car was going to do in 2016. It was either it was going the right way or it was going the wrong way. That was simple as it was going to be. In 2017, immediately I could feel what the car was about to do. So I could feel that it was about to spin. I would be able to hold it. I feel that if I was about to put too much power on, the car would already start to be reacting to that, and I take my foot off the throttle and I can control it a lot easier. So what I mean by what I feel it is I know what the car's going to do. It feels a lot more predictable than it did in the previous titles, such as 2016. The next question is about the career mode, which you can go and see if you check out this tag that's just popped up in the top. It's about the times in qualifying. So it says Kimi start first with a 1:26.523, even though Hamilton set a 1:22.188 in real life. The simple reason being is because I'm not the fastest driver in the world. I can't go onto the title and fight against all these drivers if they're on the difficulty where they can put in a 122 in the game. I put it on an easier difficulty. In the first episode, I was actually only running at 85%, which is expert difficulty. So it's about halfway from what you probably could do. The max is 110%. And what that means is that, yes, the AI are going to be slower in Simp. It's not going to make me faster by turning down the difficulty. So that's why the times are different from what they would be, say, if a proper hardcore Formula 1 driver was to get on here and compete against the times on an ultimate difficulty, such as David Greco did with his videos over the past few weeks before anyone else was allowed to put theirs out. Again, talking about the first video that we put up on the channel, which was that career mode, there was a question about, do you know why the video was blocked by FOM? There wasn't any music, just commentary, and the same animations as in F1 2016, and they weren't blocked in F1 2016. So thank you for the clarification. Now, the clarification in that is pretty much, it wasn't blocked because of music, it wasn't blocked because of the animations. That beginning intro to the race is actually the real life intro. The game, the Codemasters have brought into the game that real life, there's looking at the track map, looking at all the details of it. It's just because that is owned by Formula 1. So the Formula 1 management, which is FOM, have decided to take it down because they've not yet allowed it. Talking to Codemasters, they've been trying their hardest to allow it onto YouTube though and get FOM's bots to stop taking the videos down. But for now, we have to edit around that. I'd uploaded that video about 4 times, which is why in the end I added the black screen and say it was blocked by FOM, purely because I'd spent about 12 hours uploading and editing and re-rendering constantly, just trying to get every bit out. But every time I uploaded, it would just say a new bit was blocked by FOM. So it got really on my nerves, and I just in the end put in a black screen because I got really annoyed with it. The next question is about the practice sessions, and does it have full practice length like 90 minutes? Now, I believe it's also in 2016 they do have full practice lengths. Now, in my videos that I've been doing recently in the career mode with only the 25% races, it means that the practice length is only 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. If I was to do a 50% career mode, it would be 45 minutes, 45 minutes, 30 minutes. But if you were to do 100% career mode, then yes, it would be full practice sessions of 90 minutes and 90 minutes and then 60 minutes at the end. So that is the practice sessions. I hope that answers your question. I was also asked multiple times, can we have daily uploads? No, you unfortunately can't, purely because it takes quite a lot of time. It takes me about 3-4 hours to record, edit, and then not including the upload actually. So that's just record, edit. Then I've got to render and upload it, which takes another about 2-3 hours to do. So unfortunately, I won't be able to do daily or even more than daily videos. But we will be trying to get out at least 3 videos a week on Formula 1, 2 career modes, and then 1 random video as well, which we will be trying to do. So I hope that is enough for you guys to be watching, and I hope you do stick around to watch that. What is the difference between full damage and simulated damage? Is the full damage is actually, it's a lot like it's in 2016 again. So with the simulated damage, you just have to be really careful compared to the full damage. Full damage is mechanical and visual damage. Simulated damage just basically means that it's realistic. That's pretty much the simple difference between what is difference between full damage and simulated damage. Again, talking about the first video that I put up, that career mode video, it was asked, why is the top speed so low, not even 190 miles per hour, and change to kilometers an hour, please? First of all, I'm not changing it to kilometers an hour, I'm keeping it miles per hour. Multiple people have asked this, and I'm going to say no, purely because I read miles per hour. I'm a British driver, so I'm going to keep it miles per hour so I understand what speed I'm going. 190 miles per hour though, it's slower than the faster cars purely because I'm in a McLaren Honda. How fast do you expect me to go? Now this one was quite a large chunk and I thought it was a very interesting one to point out purely because I couldn't really type what I wanted to say for this one. So this is what was being said. So sorry guys, but every year the AI have no defensive line whatsoever. When they attack, yes, but signs of defensive lines, but there isn't that satisfaction of catching up to someone lap after lap to be challenged for their position. They just yield if you go aggressive on the brakes. I noticed an old title by the name of GP4 had defensive AI and I can't figure out why Cody's can't focus on the main point of the game, racing. Maybe it's licensing, but real racers have to stick to sim and mod their own AI for now. Saying that, the game looks fantastic, the features look incredible, but I won't be buying unless the price drops. Now, there's a lot being said in that, and I have to say, yes, the AI still aren't overly defensive from what you want or what you see in other sims, such as Grand Prix 4, because that was an amazing, amazing game for sure. But it's still a lot better than what you've seen in the past. You've seen that on that opening lap, I believe it was, at the Australia race, I had a Renault dive up the inside of me into turn number 3, completely overtook me. And then Grosjean in the Haas was battling me. He got my outside line through turn number 3 and then battled me into the next turn. And he was there and he actually got the position. So they're very aggressive when they're overtaking, yes. But then in defending, I think if you watch that last lap at Australia, you'll see me battling with Alonso, but you are right, there is no line of defense. He's taking his usual racing line. Unfortunately, I couldn't make a move through, but he wasn't defending like you would in real life. He was pretty much just driving like no one was around him. So there are definitely still places where Codemasters could improve with their game, and the defensive AI is definitely one of them. And then you also mentioned about you won't be buying the game until the price drops. Well, how about if you get it for free? We obviously have a giveaway, but more about that at the end of the video. So I was also asked what my wheel settings were. Now you'll see behind me I have a G29, that's a Logitech G29, and the wheel settings are all default in game, so I couldn't even tell you. I didn't even have to change anything. I haven't even looked into the settings for the wheels. However, like I said at the beginning, all I had to do was open my Logitech profiler, set the wheel rotation to 360, so whatever wheel you've got, if you set your wheel rotation to 360, open up the game, just keep it default, and it will work. It worked perfectly for me, and it most likely will work for you as well, because it was so simple, so easy to do, that I didn't even have to think about it. I just quickly, before I even opened the game, I quickly set it up to 360 wheel rotation, because that's what I drive with all open wheelers, and that's obviously what it's set up in game anyway. It's 360 degrees. I just launched the game, got onto the track, no issues. Don't need to worry about it. So how is the game compared to 2016, and is it better to drive? Now, like I was saying earlier, it is so much better to drive in 2016 purely because I can feel the car, and that I explained what I meant by feeling the car earlier. It's just so much better. You can see that I'm really smooth on my driving inputs, and that is something that I really wasn't on the older titles. And you just have so much control over the car. Even with no assist, you've got so much control, and it's fantastic to be able to drive. But at the same time, you can lose it. If you just don't know how to control your throttle, you'll spin without the assists. And I think it's got that perfect sort of split between realism and an arcade sort of game, because obviously there's pad users who still play this game. It's very much a console game still. The console side of it is so much bigger than the PC side of it, and it means that a lot of people still use gamepads to play. So you need to have a level of finesse between the gamepad side of gameplay and the wheel side of gameplay. And for me, it's just that perfect level that I'm able to control the car. A lot like Assetto Corsa is that perfect level that I'm able to control the car, but at the same time, it feels realistic. Formula 1 2017, I'm able to control the car, yet it feels realistic. I'm still having to do opposite lock. The classic cars are fantastic to drive. I mean, one little mistake and you will go around, and it's just brilliant to have that. The Silverstone race I did recently was absolutely so much fun, and when I spun around, I was like, oh my god, I just lost that car so easily, but at the same time, it's just like, that was quite realistic. I pushed way too hard in the corner and I wobbled the car way too much, and it was so much fun. I didn't come off the throttle, I just spun. Now, this is a very important question that was asked actually, is am I the only person who can't see the tyre allocation menu from 2016 anywhere in the videos of this game? Have they removed it? No, they haven't. It's just no longer on that loading menu that you have. I believe it's not on the loading menu anyway, that you have into the race weekend. Instead, it's in the laptop. So before you load the weekend, you go into your laptop and it's within the engine side, so where you can change everything, all your engine's components. You can also choose your tyres for the weekend, which is good, because when you would change your engine's components, you really want to do it at the beginning of the weekend, which I stupidly didn't do at Bahrain, but you'll see more on that on Thursday. We've obviously got another career mode episode tomorrow, and then we have the third episode on Thursday. Be sure to join us for those. So people didn't hear me properly in the Silverstone episode, so they thought that I was doing a 25% race, which was 26 laps. No, that was a 50% race. The length of all the short circuits laps counters are exactly the same as the Grand Prix circuit, which I find ridiculous. I mean, they should do 104 laps around Silverstone short. It would have just been fantastic to do a 100% race over 100 laps. That would have been fantastic. Definitely at Silverstone and Japan. All the circuits where it takes less than a minute to get around a circuit compared to 2 minutes, well, a minute and a half to get around the circuit. It's about half the length. Why not double the amount of laps? I think it's just an oversight by Codemasters and that. And it's a real shame that they haven't thought about that much, because if I want to do a 100% race around Silverstone short, it's only going to take me about 40 minutes to do. And it's like, I want to do an hour and a half race. Let me do an hour and a half race. Nope, you can't do that, sorry. Now looking over towards the Race Department forums, where is another place where a lot of people have been asking questions. So I was asked then, how was the steering wheel? The last two F1 games were bad in this. Force feedback was lost right after exiting pits or at the start of the race. Now, this is a little bit more detailed to what I was talking about earlier, where I could feel the car with the force feedback. In this, there is no loss in force feedback entering the pits, exiting the pits, or even on the start of the grid. I can feel the car everywhere, and once you get off the line and you're having wheel spin off the line from where you're not getting enough traction or poor start, you'll feel the car start to slide and you have to fight the wheel, and you can feel it all in the wheel. A lot like when you're exiting the pits, you can feel the slide in the wheel once you get going on cold tyres, and it's just so much improvement over 2016. It feels so much better, and there is just no gap. You don't lose the force feedback at any point. I think it's because it's now continuous. Definitely after the formation lap, it continues straight into the race. There's no black screen. It no longer skips you across into a next session as if it were. It just sort of, it's one race, which is really good for the force feedback to feel like you just don't lose anything in it. Now then, this is a question that really me off quite a lot. It really did annoy me that about 75% of the comments have been about the camera I use, the offset T-cam. And I keep on saying that I've used a T-cam since 2010. Since they introduced the offset T-cam, I've slowly transitioned into using that. And it's just become second nature for me to use that in open wheel cars. It's a T-cam. So even on R-Factor, when I was in the Indy cars, I would use a T-cam, even though it's not realistic, even though it's not immersive. For me, it's just because I can see more. And if anyone continues to complain about the T-cameras being used, I'm just going to hate you so much. I'm only joking, of course. If you want to complain, you can complain, but it's not going to change anything. I like using the T-cam. I don't come to your house when you're playing with the cockpit cam and say, why are you playing with the cockpit cam? You shouldn't be playing with the cockpit cam. Let me play with what I want. If you don't want to watch the video because of the camera I use, then that's your choice. I like the camera. A lot of other people like the camera. It's about the gameplay in the end. It's about the racing. It's not about the camera. If I were you, actually, as a spectator, watching from that camera, watching the videos from that camera is so much better than from a cockpit camera where you can't see anything that's going on anyway. So for when I'm watching other YouTubers play F1, I prefer when they're on a T-cam. Maybe not the offset T-cam, maybe that's what's annoying you, but I prefer it when they're on a T-cam purely because I can see a lot more than's going on. If they're just on a cockpit camera, I can't see anything. It's a boring video. Simple as that. Let's move on. So I was asked personally, actually, for the first time, someone actually said my name because they're kind. Joseph, please tell me the AI is no longer a while overtaking you with DRS. It's literally the only reason I had flashbacks on in my F1 2016 career. Cars would sometimes get confused and throw me out of the way. I swear on my love for motorsports that I was trying my best to cover my inside line as soon as possible and only perform one movement, yet the AI felt compelled to slam my rear end. Sorry that came out wrong. I'd like to slam your rear end there. Anyways, massively excited, so happy that release day is national holiday here, and with spectator features will we be seeing events here. So I'm going to answer the first of that. The AI are no longer... Well, from what I've got anyway, the AI are no longer... They aren't a mean when they're overtaking. I've had genuine overtakes, a lot like the opening of the Formula 1 2017 Australian Grand Prix video that we did in the McLaren career. You will see that Grosjean had a proper overtake. Now, that's obviously not with DRS, and I've not come across an overtake with DRS yet, but from what I've seen, the AI are really interacting with each other and with the user, so me at the moment, a lot better than what they've been in previous versions, and they have had an improvement. Like I said, the overtaking has improved tenfold since 2016. It's just their defensive line is still needed to be improved by Cody's, and it's not the best that it could be. So I love F1 2017 already from what I've been playing on it, but I'm not going to immediately say it's a 10 out of 10. At the moment, I think it's a 7 or an 8 out of 10. There's still work to be done, and more. There are a few other comments that I do want to talk about, some of the work that does need to be done on it, because it's still an amazing game, but it's not as good as they could get it, and it's only small improvements that they need to make it brilliant. But they've done the aggressive AI. Why can't they now do defensive AI? And if they don't have that sorted by F1 2018, will they ever have it sorted by the time they finish with the Codemasters F1 series? I hope they never do. I hope they continue it on and they won't ever finish. I mean, a lot of people are complaining that the Halo is going to look stupid and on F1 2018 and it's going to be really bad, but I don't think it will. I mean, I've been playing AMS and that's got a Halo feature in it and it looks absolutely perfectly fine. So hopefully by 2018, next year, they're going to look at bringing in VR as well, because that's what their focus is next year, is implementing VR. I don't think they're going to be doing it with 2017, even after a few bug fixes. I don't think they're going to be implementing it. So they'll be doing that for 2018, and hopefully another one of their focuses will be make the AI defensive. On to the second part of that question then, the spectator features. Will we be seeing events here? We already have events confirmed. We will be doing club and league events. We're going to be doing the Race Department Grand Prix Championship on the F1 series, the PS4, Xbox One and PC. All three platforms are going to have a league on F1 2017, and we'll also be doing, like I say, a few club events on them as well, just to, you know, it's about. But anyway, be sure to go over to RaceDepartment.com to get involved with those, and because we're going to be doing league events, we are definitely going to be doing PC broadcasting of the F1 2017 game with the new spectator features, which I can't wait to see. I've not yet been able to get onto an online server with people in, so I've been able to check out the spectator features. But that will be my first thing to do on Friday when the game comes out. It'll be the first thing that I do, is go online to check out the spectator features. One more was not really a question, and I don't actually have a screenshot for this because I cannot find it anywhere for the life of me. But one more was about the pit stops. They still look so unrealistic, pulling into the garage and pulling out of the garage. And I've got still a few complaints to do about the pit stops, because they've had a massive improvement. The fact that now you have a pit limiter, so you don't have to try to get the right acceleration point, so you don't speed back up into the pit lane like I did quite a lot in 2016. You now can engage a pit limiter, but the issues that I have are actually within the pit lane itself. First of all, I'd love the 2010 features back, where you can actually hit the brakes and stop in the box. That's another thing that I'd like, but enough about that. the animations in the pit stops are still absolutely crap. I'm going to say it now, they are absolutely rubbish. It looks so unrealistic. Not only the wheel doesn't actually do what the car is doing, but who the hell turns in that tight? Definitely at Mexico. Oh my god, Mexico really annoys me. It's like, you've got so much far and all they do is suddenly, boom, boom. And it's just like, what just happened? It's unrealistic. Same with pulling out. It's just stupid. It's just something that I really, really is my biggest hate about the F1 series is the pit stops. They've just never looked great. I mean, 2010 was my favourite with the pit stops purely because you did have to brake into the stop and make sure everything's perfect, and you disable the pit limiter on the exit of the stops. It's really cool that they've now added this thing into 2017 where you have to go from the stop, but there's a bug with that as well. It's like you have to hold the clutch and put the foot on the accelerator a lot like you do at the start to get a good start out of the box, but you have to wait until the light goes green before the revs start going up. So you have to either go with really bad revs and lose about 2 seconds, or stop in the box for about 3 seconds to get to the right revs before you go. So you're either going to have a 2-second stop with losing time on the exit of the pits, or you're going to have a 10-second stop with a perfect exit. And it's just like, it's not worth it. It's like, please do it where you can reach the right rev limit whilst you're getting your pit stop done, because you have 2 seconds to get your foot right onto maintain the right limit for the revs, and it just doesn't work. And it's just like, please, Codemasters, you've done an amazing feature adding this in, but please fix it. Now, getting to the point where a lot of you are probably interested about, the wonderful Race Department giveaway. It's very nice and simple to be able to take part in the Race Department giveaway. In the link in this description is a photo within the Race Department Instagram account. All you have to do is like that photo, comment on that photo, and follow the Race Department Instagram account to be in with a chance of winning F1 2017. We will be announcing the winner on Friday, on release day. We will be contacting them on Instagram, so we will be giving out a free copy of F1 2017. So if you want to get involved with that giveaway, be sure to go and check out the link in the description below. Be sure to put down below also any questions about the game that you want answered if you're not getting it, or you just want to find out about some stuff, because on Saturday I'll be answering some of those as well during the video. So be sure to get those in right away, because I'll be recording this before the end of the week. So be sure you put them in within the next 2 days, because then I can record the video and do the over voice commentary as well. Be sure to join us for that then, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.